Well, Hazy, our next guest, ran 4,000 kilometres from Perth to Bondi. He's written a book called Showing Up, and he's also here to talk about chocolate milk. Please put your hands together for the amazing Nedd Brockmann. Welcome.
Thank you, guys. It is a privilege to be here.
Did you run into the studio?
I did run this morning. Didn't run into the studio, but got a nice run in this morning with a heap of people, so it was fun.
And then we were just saying off air that at the time you did the run, I was working with Kane Corns, who just before you started ran from Adelaide to Melbourne, which was just an unbelievable effort. And all of a sudden, there was a bloke running from Perth to Sydney. We said, sorry, Kano, you've just been completely outdone. 4,000 kilometres.
Ned's just gone, Kano, hold my beer.
Hold my milk.
And Kane famously said, I do not drink beers.
Yes.
Ever. Chad does, though. Mates, how are you? How's things?
Mate, I'm good. What a life, hey? What a life. No, it's been good. Just been on a milk run from Cottesloe back to Bondi, and we've pit stopped in Adelaide, doing a few book stuff, speaking stuff, and running around with milk.
Jeez, you're busy.
Explain the milk thing.
Yeah, so obviously did the run last year, burned a lot of calories, and every day I'd finish a run, I had a chocky milk because I would consume so much food out on the run. I got food fatigue, and I was like, how can I get calories in, and chocky milk was the drink of choice, and I was like, we don't do anything in halves in my world, so let's make our own. And that's what we do. So every bottle is going to give back to homelessness here in Australia. The next goal is to raise $10 million, and every bottle will be able to do that. So
beautiful.
Can I ask about the passion for this cause? Where did that come from?
Yeah, it's kind of evolved over the last few years, especially when I moved to Sydney. I just saw a lot of it, and it for some reason had such a profound effect on me when I saw someone on the street. I was like, well, why are they in this scenario, and why have I had opportunities and people to rely on that I've never had to have that scenario happen to me? And so, it's one of the great inequalities. Why can't everyone have opportunities? Why can't everyone have a bed? Why can't everyone have a roof over their head? And so I just wanted to help, and ended up, I raised $100,000 in 2020 for the Red Cross for homelessness, and then I was like, I want to go bigger, and that's why we did the run across Oz.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just in my head, but it feels like we were in Melbourne not so long ago. In Adelaide here, just so you couldn't walk 20 metres without seeing someone homeless on the street. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, how is it that I've been privileged and this person has ended up where they ended up? And I always wonder that when I walk past someone, what has happened in your life to make you be on the streets?
Can you imagine, I reckon they're the most resilient people. We can all learn something, because you're at your rock bottom. You have to sleep on a park bench. You have to sleep. How tough must that be? And to get through it, and hopefully, that's the thing. I want people to go get uncomfortable, go talk to them and say, how are you? Can I help? Because they get walked past by 1,000 people in a day. One person that says, hey, how are you? Are you okay? Can I help? That might be that, that bit of touch, that connection they need, where, we all get it. We get the love, we get the support. Why can they not have it?
So obviously funds for a very, very good cause, but on top of that as well, you sound like a man who knows a thing or two about good chalky milk. So it's a good drop. Absolutely. Oh, mate, I've if there's someone who's pounded some chalky milk in their life and knows what's good and what's not, it's you're talking to yours truly. We've just we've done a few taste test trials and been developing this thing over the last 8 months. So to be finally here and have it in physical form is very cool. It tastes terrific. Mate, we want to talk about the book very soon, but before that, can we just sort of retouch on the run? It blows my mind to think what you did. 4,000 kilometres, averaging 80 kilometres or something a day?
And just for some context here, this is a bloke who I would ring most days, and I'll be like, oh, what are you doing? And you can hear his feet pounding on the pavement. Right. And he'll give it a bit of this one. He'll go, oh, just going for runs, just I don't know, 10, 11 Ks. Is that enough? Do you reckon that's enough for me today?
Yeah.
Well, in this context, it is not enough.
What about Nedd going? Is 80 kilometres enough? And I'm doing 10 or 11 Ks, and I think I'm David Goggins after that. Yep. So I can't imagine just what was it like? What about halfway through?
Yeah, it's a funny one. Yeah, so I was hell-bent on running 100K a day. So the first 11 days around 1,100K, so bang on the 100. Got pretty injured, had to take 2 days off and get an injection and come back and go again. But averaged about 86 a day. That was the whole average, and that's taking into account a few days off.
That's 2 marathons in one day.
Yeah, every day. For 46 of them.
Oh, my God.
And it's not just that, it's the road trains, the roadkill, the headwinds, the rain, the weather, the heat. They all play into the enormity of it all. But I'm not a runner. I'm just a guy who's gone, I want to do something tough. 3 years ago, I picked it up. I went, I'm gonna keep doing this. The more uncomfortable I get, the more I grow, the more I become a better version of myself. I think through adversity, we grow more than we can in comfort. And that's, if you can do that intentionally, you have a step up, right? And so that's why I do it. And so when I got halfway, when I got to, Kimber sort of area, it was like, oh, we're doing this. And then obviously every single day on from there was just like, oh my God, I cannot fathom what we've just done. And we just retraced the steps, you know, like driving from Cottesloe back to Bondi. And we're doing a Nedd's Mems in the car. And I'm talking about every moment along the run. And it feels like the drive went really quick because every single day was a 14-hour day and we only got 100K, you know. Yeah. Where like this time round, we're driving 60K in 30 minutes. So, but it was special and like a lot of goosebumps and like a bit of unresolved trauma, you know, bringing up moments where I was just guttural screams and in so much pain that I'd probably put to the side, and now I'm reliving it and going, wow, I can't believe we got through that.
How long did it take you to recover when you were completely back to normal? And when did you start running again?
I'm not completely back to normal yet, so it's a year on.
Wow.
But that's the price you pay in order to do something when you're not fully loaded. Like I'm 24. I started running 3 years ago. I don't have the tendon, ligament, bone load.
Yep.
And that's the price I'm willing to pay in order to do these things. And for me to get to 100% again, it would probably take me 6, 7, 8 years, right? But in those 6, 7, 8 years, I have 4 other things I want to do that will allow me to feel these amazing things.
Yeah.
What hurt the most? Was it mental or was it a part of the body that...
I think without the physical, you don't have the mental pain. Without the mental pain, you don't have the physical pain. Yep. So there's like, they go hand in hand. But I think the hardest part, I reckon, of it all was waking up every single morning knowing you have to run 100 kilometres on that day, regardless of how much pain you're in, how much you're lacking in sleep, how little food you're getting in, the weather, whatever it was. Your only controllable was getting from A to B, and you had to go up and wake up and go again because you said you're going to do it. That was the hardest part for me.
Can you remember that next time you start bragging about your pissant little 10Ks?
Oh my gosh, and I won't be whinging about that little ingrown toenail I've got as well.
No, exactly right. Talk us through the absolute scenes that were when you arrived in Bondi, and the 10,000 people have rocked up just to see you finish.
And the night that night.
Yeah. Bondi, I don't think anything can prepare you for that moment. You know, like AFL Grand Finals, or you know, you kind of build up to the year and you're there, and then you're in the moment. You think it's gonna, you know, it's gonna happen. You finally get there. It's this big scene. You know, it's amazing. For me, it was like I ran from Cottesloe being relatively unknown, right? And I ran into this absolute carnage on Bondi, like 2 choppers above me. I'm feeling like I'm on the Great Escape, and then like coming down into that and feeling that energy, that raw emotion. Everyone had their barriers down. There was no one was worrying about what they were looking like, how they were feeling. They were just screaming. And like, it's just like a little puppy that's seen the city for the first time. It's just like, what's going on? I just was trying to get it all in, and yeah, it was special. And if I can bottle that up and do that 5, 6 more times in my life, I'll be pretty happy. It wasn't the Bondi that made it special. It was kind of symbolic of what we had to go through to get to Bondi. That's what was so special about it.
Yeah.
And then that night I had about 3 beers and I was about to fall asleep.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Yeah. Mate, the book, take us through it. Nedd Brockmann Showing Up, which is already in bookstores. But what can we expect?
Yeah, so the book is, you know, there's the yarns from the run, and you know, there's only so much I can talk about in these interviews, so that's kind of why I chose to do the book, because I want to explain to people on another level, and it was nerve-wracking, you know, putting it out there. It's quite a personal thing, people reading your story and your upbringing and about your family, and but it's really cool, and every single person that's read it has just said, oh my God, I can't thank you enough for putting this pen to paper, because I thought I put it in the Audible, I read it here, on the plane flight, whatever. Yeah, the response has not been one negative thing. It's been unbelievable. I'm just so grateful. Yeah,
you very generously brought us in a copy. So you're going to devour that in about 8 seconds.
Yes,
flat,
I might be able to give a book review tomorrow, I reckon.
We can't let you go without touching on the mullet. That is freaking epic.
Yeah,
it's been consistent too, which is the most important part.
She's been redone, re-bleached. Yeah. The mullet. To be honest, the whole reason behind it is like, it looks glorious. No, I think like you walk into a room and you have a perceived idea of who I am, right? Immediately, as soon as I have a mullet and a high vis on, you go, oh, here we go. But someone who looks a certain way can also raise 2.6 million for homelessness, can also hold his own conversation in a room full of whoever, and be themselves. I think that's like the most important thing of it all. So it breaks down barriers straight away as soon as you walk in.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing behind it.
Yeah. Okay.
The old mud flap, yeah.
It's looking absolutely sensational. The book, Nedd Brockmann Showing Up, in bookstores, and as well, neddsmilk.com.au. That's where we go for all the details to get this drop.
without sounding too profound, I always believe that in life, the way you make people feel when you walk into a room is the most important thing. And you walked into our studio this morning, I thought, what a glorious human being straight away.
Thank you.
That's the vibe you're giving off.
I just got full body goosebumps, so thank you.
Nice.
I pride myself on my energy and how I choose to show up each day, because it is a choice. Everyone has a choice to show how they want to act, and I think the more we can spread good, the more good goes around in this world, and that's something we need to do.
There we go.
Never leave, Ned.
Yeah. And we're both thinking it. We'd love to run our hands through your hair, but we won't because we don't want to be inappropriate.
Thanks so much for
Awesome,
coming
guys.
in.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Cheers.